Well, look, folks, there comes a point when all of us need to speak out, and vehemently so, and come down on the side of justice and humanity. My video is not so much directed against the people of Israel. The people of Israel have just been as bamboozled as most of us here in the United States through our own government. But what is going on in Gaza, in the occupied territories, is absolutely unconscionable at this point. I read a report just last night, and this is coming from the Israeli press, that essentially what they're saying is that now hospitals are in a way being considered as legitimate targets of the IDF, because supposedly Hamas is hiding some of their officials or fighters in the basements of those hospitals. And so they've also said in the Israeli press that Hamas fighters and figures are riding around in ambulances in Gaza. Now, whether this is true or not is actually besides the point. It is a war crime to target hospitals, schools, ambulances, no matter what the purpose of that attack is. It is a war crime regardless of whether Hamas is hiding their weaponry amongst civilians. This is an old issue. This has nothing to do even with Israel, the Palestinians, or anything. These tactics, have been used, and I admit they are cowardly tactics if that's what's happening, to hide yourself amongst civilians, with your weapons. However, under the Geneva Conventions, these targets are off limits, period. And Hamas shouldn't be firing rockets at Israel's schools either. But consider the proportionality here. There are reports, also actually reported in the Israeli press, but the mainstream news in the U.S. won't discuss that very much, that basically the Israeli Supreme Court has come out and said that international journalists have the right to go into Gaza, and the Israeli Defense Forces have no business keeping them out of there. And so, of course, you're going to be seeing all sorts of propaganda here on the internet coming from all sides, and especially from the Western media, which is essentially censoring actually anything coming out of Gaza. So yes, there's a lot of propaganda flying around. The truth is the first thing to go in war. This said, there are reporters in Gaza who are getting images out, and sometimes for purposes of propaganda, but you simply cannot deny the suffering that is going on in Gaza. These children being hurt, these images from hospitals, burn victims and such, they aren't made up. This isn't some goddamn movie. And the injuries on the side, on the Gazan side, in terms of the civilian population, is now reaching 50%. We're talking, 900, 1,000 people dead in Gaza. 50% of them are civilians, and this information is coming from the International Red Cross and aid organizations, which have no political aims whatsoever. These things are confirmed through independent sources. And this just cannot stand. And the Israeli press, there was an article, I think, in Haaretz, or actually at the Jerusalem Post, I think I read it, that that justification is, well, these people are, the Hamas is hiding in the basements of hospitals, and we're putting flyers out, we're dropping flyers, leaflets on these populations to vacate the area before we bomb the facility or whatever. It makes absolutely no difference whether you're dropping leaflets. Where are these people supposed to go? You've got one ward up on the upper floor with injured patients. They aren't going anywhere. And even if there weren't any patients right there at that moment, and you bomb that hospital or that facility, then you've destroyed the entire infrastructure there to help the injured in the future. These are plain and simple. These are war crimes. And for the Israelis to say they're dropping leaflets on the population, oh, well, we're warning you, get out, scurry away, and we'll hit this particular facility because we believe militants are hiding there, and then to destroy hospital facilities, their supplies, their infrastructure, their ambulances and everything. Please. This cannot be condoned. And our Congress, our United States Congress, coming down in favor of Israel 100% regarding this particular conflict here, and condemning Hamas and the Palestinians for everything that is going on there is just an absurdity and total hypocrisy. If Israel wants to have images out there as far as true images, then they should let the international press into Gaza. What do they have to fear? If there's nothing going on in Gaza and everything, all the retaliation is fine and good, then there's nothing to fear, is there? In the court of international opinion, of course. But, I guess international opinion for Israel matters very little when they have a partner like the United States government saying, hey, you've been given the green light because, after all, you've got a big lobby and you're supporting our own criminal politicians here. That's all I have to say about it. People need to speak up. It may have consequences for some of us, maybe our channels will be closed down. Well, it's better than sitting in some goddamn hospital room not getting any care.